Was I surprised, did you say? Not terribly, which is a shame. I really love Armand, but I also hate him at the same time.
Oh, I love him and I hate him at the same time. Hello. All right, we are about to watch and react to the San Diego Comicon 2024 Entertainment Weekly panel with the interview with the vampire cast. That's what we are watching today. I have been sitting in the chat waiting for this live stream to start. They're starting a little bit late, and the chat was insane with people like, who is this person? Why are they cleaning the set again? Where is our cast? Also, I just want to acknowledge when the cast finally came on, the thing still has not started. Actually, what I'm playing here, the video in the background, I'm a little bit behind the live stream, but when they finally showed up on set, like you see Sam was the first one to come on, my heart skipped a beat. I was like, oh, our cast. Hi, I'm Joel from the Articulate Coven, and this is our YouTube channel. We've got an ongoing podcast where we cover Anne Rice's books and the movie adaptations thereof, and the TV series, of course, Interview with the Vampire and Mayfair Witches, and the forthcoming Talamasca series, all from AMC and AMC Plus. So, all right, let's get to the content here.
I'm Sam Heifel. Welcome to Entertainment Weekly's 2024 Comic-Con studio. I'm joined now by, I should say, some of the cast of Interview with the Vampire. Not complete cast, but not complete.
Feels incomplete.
I will also just say, like, season 2's been out for a minute, but I'm going to give a spoiler warning because I want to talk about things. But just
So there you go. First of all, spoiler warning. This is going to have potentially information about season 2 in it if you haven't seen all of season 2.
Right. You guys haven't, like, there's no season 3 happening yet, right? Or are you at work on season 3?
Well, it's been a greenlit.
Right.
And there's been a lot of discussion.
Okay.
And that's all I'm going to say. Yeah.
Sam, ever the politician.
Okay, fair enough. I just didn't know where you were. Like, you were between filming breaks, or like if you
definitely
guys were...
between filming breaks.
Great,
Yeah,
okay.
definitely.
Also, I think we're riding the wave of season 2 right now.
Yeah.
It's been like we worked really hard on it, so I think we're just enjoying that.
Yeah.
And maybe doing some other things. I'm going to stop talking now as well.
Okay, so the rumors are that Assad has confirmed to someone, a fan or something. That's what I've heard online, that he's filming this fall. So I would be surprised if we don't get an announcement of some production for the season 3.
No, please. Do you guys pay attention to like fan reaction? Like when season 2 episodes are coming out, are you guys watching any of that?
I try to sort of separate myself from it, but I am very curious.
Yeah.
I particularly love kind of watching a lot of the sort of real-time YouTube reactions, and seeing how people sort of respond to it. And there's some amazing, astute sort of like responses in real time that I think are brilliant while people are watching it. And then some people are so hilarious with like how they react to things going on. I'm like,
well, I'm reacting to you now, Assad.
Yeah. So I get curious.
Yeah.
Like the fan art is like so good.
Yeah.
Like the pictures I get sent are so detailed. I'm like, this needs to be seen everywhere.
Yeah. I'm curious how much you guys know. Like, are you getting surprised script by script? Do you have a pretty good idea of like the whole season?
I got surprised script by script because like the circumstances that I came in.
Delaney Hayles obviously famously replaced Bailey Bass from season 1 to season 2 and did it very, very late in the game. They had to move things around as far as what they were filming to get her set.
We're a bit different, and I think they were being very nice to me and being like, "Here's one now, here's another," and I was like, just give them all to me." Yeah. And then I got them all, and I was really surprised at the ending of our show. I really liked it, but yeah.
I think this season 2, we got them all at the beginning because they all had to be written pre-strike, so we got them all before that. But in season 1, I think we started shooting and we only had the first 2.
Oh, wow.
And so I remember, we got the 3rd script like halfway through shooting, episode 2 for episode 3 and 4, and you just watched it kind of like unfold in this really chaotic way. And I remember calling Roland like, "Who are you?"
Man, I can't imagine that they were surprised as they went for season 1, but that's first I'd heard of that.
What is your brain? Like, this is extraordinary.
Roland really is an extraordinary writer, like absolutely unbelievable, world-class talent. Like, cannot wait to see what he does next many, many years from now after he's done with this series.
It's amazing. Yeah.
So I think it
6 seasons in a movie.
like Roland's mind was sort of kind of, that chaos was going all over the place, because when I auditioned with material that we see in season 2. So I think it was cooking all kind of at the same time. And but yeah, season 2 we got the scripts very
Do we know what he auditioned with? I think he audition with the scene from the 70s, from one of the scenes with him and Daniel, maybe
early on, and then we kind of had to work with those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, speaking of spoilers and speaking of things that might surprise you, like, did you know about Armand's betrayal, or was that something you just read in the script?
What betrayal?
What betrayal?
What betrayal? Armand does things and bad things happen, but he doesn't necessarily want those bad things to happen, does he? I don't know. Does he not? I don't know.
Assad is as much of a Armand stand as I am a Lestat stand.
Was I surprised, did you say? Not terribly, which is a shame. I really love Armand, but I also hate him at the same time.
Oh, I love him and I hate him at the same time.
But he doesn't help himself. So yeah. It was. But what I do love is how methodically it's been kind of thought out, his journey, so that we don't condone it, but we almost in a really fucked up way we understand it.
We don't condone it, but almost in a really fucked up way we understand it. Like that's the pitch for The Sopranos, effectively, right? Like, you don't condone, unless you're a Neanderthal or, you know, media illiterate, you don't root for Tony Soprano or Walter White, but you understand why the choices were made along the way, right? Like, you empathize with them. And I feel like absolutely you're able to empathize with Armand here in this series, or at least to a degree.
Yeah.
That's what I love about all the characters. Because I remember even in season 1, because I watched it recently, I was talking to a good friend of mine.
One of the chat in the YouTube says, talking about Delaney, she looks so beautiful, everybody else go home.
I was very mad at Lestat after an episode, and I was like, man, this man's bad. And she goes, well, is he bad or does he just love too much? And I was like, well.
Is he bad or does he just love too much? Yes. They understand Lestat.
It's a good question. It's kind of a good question with
they're
all of
all
them.
bad. I mean, you know.
That's true.
You know, and you kind of want them to be bad. I mean, I'd be disappointed if Armand and Lestat and Louis and Claudia, I mean, if they're not kind of like, yeah, give me my vampire. You know what I mean? I'd be annoyed. You don't want them. We're not the PG version.
We are not vanilla.
We are the R-rated version.
Yeah.
We're not the network TV version either, right? This isn't 1990s, you know, 9 p.m. ABC version of, this isn't Dark Shadows, for instance.
Yeah.
You know, and it's violent and it's bloody.
Not that there's anything wrong with Dark Shadows. This just ain't it.
And it's gothic. And, you know, bring it on. Like, that's what I want to see.
Yeah.
So
It's true.
I don't know. It makes you feel like very strongly. And I think that's like, we're so lucky to be in a show that makes audiences and ourselves, like, because we have very visceral reactions to it as well. Like, it's so extraordinary to be in something that creates that level of chaos in a reaction. I mean, it's very hard to feel anything these days because, like, everything's so bleak.
Yeah.
So at least it makes you remember you're human. The show about monsters reminds us of our humanity. Yeah.
I love that.
But God, that is so right for Anne's work, right? Like, her novels were always that way too, reminding us that we were human through this dialogue with the monsters.
The whole time I was, that's a soundbite. That's, you just.
I think I knew that I was
That's
trying
the
to like,
tagline.
Yeah,
where
you were like,
am I
this is
going? I'm going to
somewhere.
this
Yeah,
town.
yeah.
Yeah.
You were like, the headline is going to be, no.
Hopeful and hopeful and hopeful.
The whole time I was watching like the trial in season 2, I was so enthralled. It was so incredible. And then my third thought, because of what I do, was like, how long did it take to film that? Like the actual trial scene feels like it's a lot of people. You guys are doing, obviously, like Claudia's having a huge moment. Like it's a lot.
What do you think?
Okay, I'm gonna guess 3 days.
Oh, okay. Well, really.
Three
We shot
days.
Claudia's death for 3 days.
See, this is why I wanted to know.
Whatever you think this took, it was a lot more than that. Holy moly, they shot Claudia's death scene alone for 3 days.
Wait, you died for 3 days?
Yeah.
Oh yes, yeah. I died. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had like levels of prosthetics, so
I was going to ask how they actually film like you disappearing.
yeah. So like we'd complete like one stage of it, I'd go away, and I think they'd film something else. Then I'd come back with more prosthetics, and then I think it took around 3 days for us to finally complete it.
And
But
every single time was as harrowing as it was for you to see it. And we watched that so many times. It will be forever seared into my mind.
Every single time was as harrowing as it was for you to watch it the first time. Yeah, I bet. It would have been hard to be on set for 3 days watching Claudia die.
Yeah.
It's extraordinary performance by Delaney. I mean, it's just
Roxanne.
horrendous.
Yeah.
And Roxanne, yeah. I mean, yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
Roxanne's amazing, and Emma's amazing as well. I'm so
Yeah.
thankful that she was directing those 2 episodes. Yeah.
But that trial scene, we started that before the strike, before the writer's strike, and before we had to shut down. So we began that episode then, and we had to come back and finish it. That was the first thing we came back to when we.
Yeah.
After
We had a hiatus in the middle of that episode.
Like the most emotional.
Wow. They were shooting the death scene. They were shooting the trial, and they had to come back to it after the strike. Oof.
Climactic episode.
Yeah.
And you came back and you're like, cool, back to work.
Luckily, we had to rush the majority of the meat of that episode before, because we knew the strikes were coming, so we had to rush it, and so we got a majority of the meat of it down. I can't remember where we stopped, but
Can I just say how much I enjoy hearing Sam in his own accent say the meat of it? We got right down to the meat of it.
yeah.
Wait, so how long total? If death was 3 days, there's a break in between.
Maybe 9 days.
It was like a full episode, sort of.
Hard to say, yeah.
So it was like 9. I would say 10 or 11.
And we shot other stuff like the flashbacks and stuff
Yeah,
added to
yeah.
the episode. So I think it was only 9 days in the theater, maybe even less. Yeah, we have to call Emma Freeman and ask her.
That's a lot to do. Things over and over in different.
Yeah, 8-9 days for the trial that's a journey.
Yeah, it felt like forever.
Also, that set was haunted.
Yeah.
Everyone was convinced there was a ghost in there.
Delaney said it felt like forever. And now Sam says it's haunted. Of course it's haunted.
And there was lots of accidents. Someone broke their ankle. Delaney had an accident.
On the strike when we announced it, right?
Yeah, on the day that the strike was announced, I decided to fall off the stage.
Or you were shoved by a ghost.
Yeah, I think, but yeah, basically.
Yeah, everyone thought you were shoved by the ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then but it was weird because I had like an out of body experience where I was like, I envisioned myself falling, and then I hit the ground, and I was like, oh, I'm down.
It happened. Wait, was it like one ghost?
Delaney had a vision of herself falling and then she fell. That's crazy.
Or like you just felt like it was generally haunted?
I feel it was generally.
Okay.
But was it the script supervisor or who was it? Somebody had some sage and was walking around and trying to give everyone protective candles and things like that. It was quite a.
Hey, okay, the sage thing is real. I did outdoor theater for a couple of summers in college, and we would smudge. There was a little ceremony. There was a prayer said, and then you would burn the sage and just sort of clothe yourself in it. And like, for real, I wouldn't do theater without some sage in the theater.
It was quite a vibe going on, but people were very, very concerned.
We respected the ghosts. Like we gave the ghosts their kind of respect, and we were like, okay. leave us alone. Let us finish this thing, then we'll leave you alone.
Yeah, it was annoyed that we were there.
Yeah.
But was that like built on your stages, or was that a location?
No, it was an abandoned factory
Oh, okay.
in
So it was
like the
definitely
Prague
not
countryside.
In the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere,
You had some
completely
old
abandoned.
ghosts in there.
Yeah. It's a pretty scary place, actually.
Pretty scary place, actually. It's a great set.
That's amazing.
Maybe they won't use it. I assume they'd use it again in season 3, like literally just like redo what they'd burned out and have the theater back for the parts of the Vampire Lestat that feature it. But maybe they'll decide to do something else
about it, but we cry about it.
Like, please don't send us back there. Yeah.
I do want to touch on because I remember your wonderful showrunner in an interview was talking about how in that final scene with Lestat and Louis, it was kind of the first time we were seeing the real Lestat because it's not through perspective. How was that like in the? Did you talk about that with him? Did that kind of factor into how you played it maybe differently in that scene?
I didn't think too much about, like there's a lot of pressure on you start going like, what's the real Lestat? I think, I know like Lestat is a very emotional kind of like heart on his sleeve. He just feels a lot all
God, Sam gets Lestat so well.
the time, whether it be, aggression or intense love or emotion and he also likes to get caught up in the feeling of emotion. So we knew it was going to be an emotional scene, but he's also like, I don't know if he's in his best way.
Oh, sure.
He's spent 77 years, like, feeling pretty terrible about himself. So I don't know if like that is real Lestat, but it's a very damaged Lestat. But it's kind of great we talked about like where does this go? Where does this character go, and how can we take him with us now? So yeah, there was a lot of discussion about it. But I mean, he's not always going
I can't wait. It's gonna be so fucking. Season 3 is gonna be so good.
to be crying and like stuck with his emotional.
But I would kind of enjoy it a little bit, I think.
You always want him with the plank of wood.
Not always. But if we could get like a little more of that.
Oh, you will.
Okay.
Oh God, yeah. I mean that, like he will just, he'll cry at the falling leaves, like caught in the wind, it's like yeah.
He's real high. He's real low.
Yeah, he's real high.
A plastic bag in the wind.
Totally. That's American Beauty.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And I think that would be Lestat. Yeah, he'd get his video camera out. He'd probably call Armand to be like, I found a plastic bag. Do you have a video camera? Do you know how to use it?
No, but
Do you have a video
Do you
camera?
have a blender? Okay.
Armand has a blender.
that's what you wanted
Doesn't have
to
any
say.
video cameras.
What
Blending bag. Blending plastic bags.
Did you do it?
What is the hardest technical part of being a vampire? Like, are the contacts terrible? I'm assuming they're contacts. I could be wrong. What's kind of the hardest? The biting, the blood, like, what don't you love?
I think it's the contacts. They took a lot of adjusting too. And during the trial, with the stage lights, I found that everything was like static.
Oh, yeah.
And I was seeing silhouettes, and it was like I never saw anything clearly. So I think, during the trial, it was the lenses.
Sure. You're trying
I
to
like the blood.
Yeah, I think I've heard that before, that the lenses are not very comfortable. I mean, I wonder how different. I'm sure they're thicker than regular contact lenses, probably. Makes me wonder. I always assumed that the teeth would be the hardest thing to get used to, but
I hate the teeth. Mine broke so many times.
I like the blood.
Every time.
Because you crunch
Austin
down on
hates
them
the
all
teeth.
time. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Right?
I think I realized how much anxiety I had when I put those
grinding
teeth.
your vampire
I'm grinding like crazy.
Austin is all of us. I realized how much anxiety I had when I kept breaking my vampire teeth.
Every time I put those teeth in, they would just snap.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't think Tammy liked me very much because of that. So.
Yeah, it's all of it. Yeah, and then usually Roland, I think sometimes is concerned that we're going to be boring, so he'll just add in as much as he possibly can in one scene. So we'll have like stunts and flying, and then like monologues and pieces of things catching a light on fire, and it's like animals. We've just always got a lot going on.
And don't you? I've talked to other people. Are there like 8 different kinds of blood? Isn't there like blood for every occasion? It's like blood that removes easily, blood that tastes better? Like,
We have mouth blood. We have drinking blood.
okay.
And they're different. And then we've got body blood. We've got permanent blood.
Permanent blood.
Well, blood that, if you're going to be bloody all day, it's like
okay.
painted on you, so it's not going to wash off. Like,
There's like a temp.
That's interesting. I mean, it makes sense that you would have different formulations, but it's interesting, like the places where the production decides it's worth it to make a whole different kind.
Temporary puddle of blood.
Temporary puddle blood.
I had no idea. The scene where Armand comes in and finds Louis sprawled
Temporary Puddle Blood is a funny name. It's my new band, Temporary Puddle Blood.
around with like a ton of blood after turning Madeline. When we were prepping it, there's this huge puddle of blood. I was like, wow, that's quite risky. Why would you put that there now? Like, the people are still setting up. And then a guy just comes and lifts it. It's a piece of like plastic and just takes it off. And I was like,
that's so cool. Okay, I love stagecraft. So the puddle of blood was literally like a resin prop of some sort.
Amazing.
whoa, that was cool. It looks really real.
It does look very realistic.
Yeah.
Temporary puddle of blood. Amazing. Without spoilers, obviously, since you guys know a little about season 3, if you've been having conversations, what's something you're excited to dig into? I'm assuming we'll see you.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm looking forward to some music. I'm looking forward to the music.
God, it makes me wonder, do they know what the music, like, have they heard some of the music already? I wonder if Sam has.
Yeah.
We've got some very, very talented writers, obviously, on this show. And we also have very, very talented composers who work on this show. And, just seeing what they create is extraordinary. So, yeah.
Just seeing what they create is extraordinary. I think he has seen and heard maybe some motifs at least.
Excited for more wooden piano.
Yeah, or real pianos.
Or real
Or
pianos.
guitars, or drums, or French horns, or saxophones, or harps.
It's a big
How many
band.
instruments can you name?
That's true.
EDM
Oh,
boards. I don't know.
took a turn.
Yeah.
All right. Amazing. Well, thank you guys for
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Everybody else, stay tuned to EW.com for all your Comic-Con needs.
All right. Cool little interview that was brief, that was in and out. Good work, Entertainment Weekly. I know you're banging a bunch of these out for Comic-Con. So the full Comic-Con panel tomorrow from AMC, I don't know if it's going to be actually live streamed or not. I did see an announcement earlier, and it's in the Facebook group, on our Facebook group if you want to go join there. That will be available on AMC Plus in September, but it won't be there until September. So it'll be a hot minute before you can see it there. I'm not sure whether we'll be able to live stream it or not. We will continue to react to videos about Interview with a Vampire that we can find online, like this one. Thanks to Entertainment Weekly for sharing, and thanks to you for watching. And if you like this content, then you'll probably like our podcast. Check it out right here on our channel or anywhere you listen to podcasts. We are the Articulate Coven.